Today we have the head coach of the U.S. men's national team, Jurgen Klinsmann, and team captain, Clint Dempsey. Okay. So we're going to begin with opening comments from Jurgen, and then we'll take your questions.
Yeah, welcome to Columbus. Day before a big game. Obviously, is it's an exciting moment. It's an exciting moment because we badly want to steer towards the World Cup. We want to qualify as quickly as possible. We know we have still some work to do, and playing Mexico is always special. I think you play your main rival in CONCACAF. Obviously, we all know about their situation. They know about our situation. So I think it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting for the fans, for everybody involved, the players stepping on the field, playing a game like that, high intense, lots at stake. You can't ask for more.
If you have questions, please raise your hand. We have wireless microphones. We'll start with Grant.
This is for Jurgen. If I'm correct, you've never lost to Mexico as a player or a coach. How do you explain this success you've had against Mexico for so long?
I can't explain that. No, it might be a coincidence. I hope it continues tomorrow night. Yeah.
Doug.
Jurgen, you added 2 Mexican-based players this week. There's 5 total on the roster now. How much has it helped having guys that are playing week in and week out against some of the guys in the Mexican team? Giving you success against Mexico in 3 games undefeated.
I mean, they came in. They were on standby. I don't think it has to do with Mexico per se. Yes, it's good that they know those players even better. But they were, right there on the list. When something happens, yellow cards or injuries or whatever, those would have been the players anyway, even if he played Italy tomorrow night. But obviously, it's a good thing for us knowing that players from us play in Mexico in a very strong league, know those players, really well, and they're well prepared, to play eye to eye against them. It's definitely a plus.
Go to Steve Goff.
Clint, do you see Mexico as a vulnerable team given what they've been through and as well as the coaching change?
I don't look at it like that. Mexico's a team that has quality in it, and we need to make sure that we prepare properly. Every game at home is a must-win game. You need to get those points at home if you have any hopes of qualifying for a World Cup, so we won't treat it any different than that. And like Jurgen said, hopefully we can get as many points as soon as possible to make sure that we make that happen. But we know it's going to be a difficult game.
Roger.
Jurgen, in your career, you've played some big derbies, Inter, AC, Tottenham, Arsenal. Germany are pretty well everybody's rivals in Europe. Where does this Mexico-US rivalry fit in with those you've experienced?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, living here now for 15 years and understanding more and more this rivalry is a wonderful thing. There's in this rivalry there's a lot of respect, for each other. If it's on the coaching side, if it's on the player side, if it's nation related. I think both countries, always drive for more. Both countries want to get better. Both countries want to be in the top 10 in the world. Both countries obviously, want to secure the World Cup in Brazil and then going there beyond the group stage at least. So ambition-wise, it's very similar to our case, and I think there's a lot of admiration in this rivalry for each other, and obviously a lot of emotions, and we're going to see those emotions tomorrow night on the field, So it's going to be very, very tense. It's going to be very aggressive. But at the end of the day, both teams have a lot of respect for each other.
We'll go Ron and then Philip. Hang on 1 second, Ron. Thanks.
For both Jurgen and Clint, given essentially that you have 3 chances to get the win that's likely needed to clinch, how important is it to get it done in this game rather than in games 9 and 10? Right.
I mean, obviously you want to get points as soon as possible, but the most important thing is that we get to the World Cup. That's what our goal is. Doesn't matter how we do it. But yes, you don't want to be waiting to the last game and wanting other teams to do you a favor because you're not able to get the job done. So, ideally, we'd like to get that wrapped up as soon as we can.
Philip?
Yeah, obviously,
Oh, sorry.
we gave up an opportunity in Costa Rica to get 3 points, and it made us upset. I think, if we wouldn't have kind of missed those first 10 minutes, a little bit because also of the injury of Michael, we didn't get right into the game. It took us a bit longer. If it doesn't happen, this breakaway out of the blue in the 75th minute, I think we were close to score the equalizer and come home with a result, And that hangs a little bit in your stomach, because you do not want to wait for anything. You want to do it in the next possible occasion, and this is now tomorrow night. Knowing what Mexico is going through, but we have to look at purely at our end, and we got to secure our points, to make sure nobody's getting nervous here. So therefore, we want to make sure that from the first second on, we're spot on.
For both Jurgen and Clint, you touched on the absence of Michael, but could you talk a little bit about how that changes the dynamics of this team?
Go ahead, Clint.
Yeah, I think there's a few players missing. We have Josie, we have Matt Beasler, and we have Michael missing. So when you have any player missing, it changes the dynamic, depending on what formation you want to play and what players that you want to put in the game. I think there's a lot of players who play big roles in this team. Obviously, Michael does that for us. He's one of our leaders as well. He's a player that has a lot of quality and really links up the game for us. But we also have other players that need to step up to the plate and make sure that we can get the job done tomorrow. So, yeah, it hurts losing some of our players that we have, but that's situations that all teams have to deal with through injuries and through suspensions, through yellow cards.
No, definitely. Missing Michael is not easy because he developed into a real leader, one of our leaders. With Clint, with a Tim Howard, with a Jermaine Jones of this group. But we've been, the last 2 years constantly through challenges, with the roster, with the availability, with yellow cards. We always, had to correct things. Now we have to correct, Matt Beast, Josie up front, who was in a tremendous shape. Just unfortunate that he kind of came with that hamstring injury into Costa Rica, and we'll find ways to balance it out. We will find ways to make sure that the guys stepping on the field and also the guys sitting on the bench, they are giving everything they have. And I think we have enough quality in this entire group to make things happen tomorrow night.
We'll go Fernando, then Ivis in the back.
Jurgen Klinsmann, how are you? Here I am.
Good, Fernando.
I'd like to make a question to both of you. You was coach and you are coach right now, and you was player and you are a player. What means in the mentality a change of coach? Mexico don't play different because it's the same process, it's the same coaching staff. But what can they change of the mind of the players when they have a new boss on the bench?
I think for a player, anytime there's a new coach, players who are playing under the other coach, they're maybe not as comfortable because they know that changes come in and trying to fight for a spot. Also, players who weren't playing under the coach before see it as an opportunity to try to get into the team because maybe things were kind of set in a certain way. Who's to say? But Mexico will be a difficult game. They're a team that has a lot of quality, and we're going to prepare for that. We're not going to take them lightly, but we need to focus on us and our game. So that's all I can really say about that.
Well, I think, you have always both examples of a coaching change. Sometimes it goes really well right away, and sometimes it will take time. So now we can't look on the inside of the Mexican team. We don't know what they went through over the last couple of months internally. We have the highest respect for their coaches, if it's Chepo or if it's Fernando now. We'll see now how his players will adjust to it. There's always a period of adjustment to another boss, a new boss. But it's important to us that we look at ourselves and say, we'll expect a very, very tough and difficult, intense game. We are ready for it. We're going to play our game to our strengths that we have, and we have a lot of strength in this team. And our goal is tomorrow night is 3 points. You're welcome.
Folks, we have a lot of people that like to ask questions, so if you could just limit it to one question for one person, we'd appreciate it. We're going to go to Ibis in the back.
Jurgen, over here, the past 2 games, you've allowed 6 goals. Your defense allowed 6 goals in 2 games. How concerned are you about the defense going into this game, especially not having Wiesler after the phantom yellow? What'd you think of the yellow card, by the way, now that you've had a chance to see it?
Well, it kind of just confirmed my fears before the game, with the yellow card issue. If I look at Josie's yellow card, not necessary from both ends, from referee and from Josie to do something. But in 92nd minute, you don't show a yellow card for a little push. And Matt Beasler's was basically based on a fake from Campbell, that the linesman actually fell about. Conceding goals is always a sequence of several mistakes done by the entire team. And I always say that defense starts up front. If you look at the second goal we conceded, then we kind of lost the ball up front. We were 4 guys not getting behind the ball right away, and then we were caught on a counter and a cross that we said before. Make sure we didn't deny all the crosses. We talked about the set pieces, then we got a set piece in the first minute and stuff like that. Things will happen, and they happen for a reason, and then you work on it, you talk about it, and we hopefully avoid those mistakes then in the next game. But it's a process that we will go through all the time. Whenever we concede a goal, we will kind of analyze it, talk through it, and hopefully next time we'll make it better. I'm not concerned about tomorrow night in terms of switching things around, having another center back in there, making changes, if it's up front, for Josie, if it's in the midfield, for Michael, unfortunately, because I think the players now really understand their roles. They know when they come in what to do. They know how we want to play. I think we have a very strong core of leaders guiding them through that. Therefore, I'm very optimistic for tomorrow night.
We're going to go to Andrew here behind Grant, and then we'll do Kevin Baxter.
Jurgen, speaking of changes in the back line, what did you think of Michael Roscoe's performance after a chance to review the tape, and any thoughts of how that back line will change apart from Clarence Goodson?
Well, I think obviously because of Matt Beasler, the back line will change, but I think, Michael's game, here and there in his passing struggled a little bit. In none of the goals, Michael Roscoe had any mistake that he did. Not on the corner kick, not on a counter break, and not on especially the last goal. He was not involved in that. So he had no fault at all on those 3 conceding goals, and that speaks for him as well.
Hey, Jurgen. As you've mentioned many times, you're missing 4 key players. You're also coming off a loss. This could happen next year in Brazil. How much of this might be an educational process for you to tell the team that they can overcome these things, or how difficult it is to do that?
Oh, I think, the players will always go through those phases. We all, where we have to turn around within a few days and prepare for a next game, big game, and make sure that you learned out of the mistakes from the last one, but also you kind of shift over to the new opponent and the new challenge. And especially in a tournament like a World Cup, it's all about, how fast you recover from maybe a disappointment, how, fast they physically get back to the top, and also how they mentally switch over to the next challenge. And this is just then part of those special moments, but we are not there yet, at the World Cup. So we now need to make sure that we correct all the stuff that we did wrong in Costa Rica, which wasn't that much. I mean, besides those first 10-15 minutes where we gave away these 2 goals, I saw a lot of positives in this game. It made me really angry that we gave away this kind of clearance there, and Campbell broke through, and boom, we were sure, and we told that the players, we're going to score this second goal, we're going to equalize this game, and then we'll see what happens then. But now, Mexico is with their back against the wall, obviously. We badly want the points that we need to qualify, so it all makes it for a very, very exciting game tomorrow night.
We'll go Francisco and then Manny.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Coach, You vividly and passionately, in some occasions, defended Chef Torre on the Gold Cup as supporting him as a great coach. Were you a bit surprised as to the decision that the Mexican Federation did? And lastly, are you concerned that the frigid cold of Columbus didn't arrive in September, but it's arriving in October?
Well, I don't know. Surprise. There are so many surprises in soccer overnight. You never know what happens. But I felt for Chepo because I believe he's one of the best coaches in this entire region here. Chepo, he could coach in Europe, no problem at all. He coached, wherever here in this region. And so there's a lot of admiration from my end, And when a switch comes like that, you feel for your colleague, And I said it already in the summer. I mean, just stay calm, and Mexico will get their points, and hopefully not, obviously, tomorrow night. But in general, they will get their points, and also if things go wrong for them tomorrow night, they will still get their points, And even if they have to go through the fourth place, theoretically, they will qualify for this World Cup. Mexico will go to the World Cup, So now they made that switch, It's tough for Chepo, and you feel for him. Fernando will do the best he can do. He's a very, very good coach as well. Winning the Olympics, and having maybe his own ideas a little bit, making some adjustments he wants to make. But again, I say, we have to focus on what we are doing, what our guys are doing, and then we are strong enough tomorrow night to make things happen for us.
We'll do a couple more. So we'll go to
Getting a bit warm
back in the
here,
blue.
Michael. It's getting a bit warm in here. Can you put the air conditioning on?
It's getting warm from one of them lights.
Hello, Jurgen. Good afternoon. Manny Jasmine from the BBC. Before I ask you my question, I must tell you that you're still missed very much at Spurs, and very welcome back anytime you want to come back. Jurgen, this is your first opportunity to qualify for a World Cup. In 2006, Germany qualified automatically as hosts, and your critics in Europe claim that Jogi Löw did a lot of the good work when he got to the semi-finals in 2006. So do you feel that you have a point to prove as a coach?
No, I don't have a point to prove. Every coach, no matter what team he coaches, where in the world he coaches, is trying to do his best. And that's what I'm doing here. I try everything possible to help us getting to Brazil and doing my job, and together with my coaching staff, the same way it was in Germany, and hopefully get the team and the players inspired in a way that they do everything tomorrow night to get 3 points. Whatever they say, over in Europe about certain periods of everybody's kind of career, that's fine with me, no problem.
Two more.
Jurgen, looking both teams right now, do you think that a tie will be a good result for you?
I'd rather have 3 points than a tie.
Last one will be for Leander.
Clint, question for you. You were here in 2009 in the World Cup qualifier against Mexico, the third consecutive one that was won here. What is it about this place that makes it hard on Mexico, do you think?
I think it's coming to a place where you have a pro-American crowd. I remember in the past, when I first started out with the national team, you go to stadiums and you feel like you're playing in another country because there was more fans for the other team than for you. But Columbus is one of those venues that you have that 12th man. The crowd is all behind you. You have a pro-American crowd, like I said, and just kind of adds to the excitement. It gives you a little bit more wind in your sails, and I think also puts pressure on the other team because they feel the excitement. They're not as confident, and they're a little tentative, and I think it plays to our advantage. So having the 12th man is huge.
Thanks, guys. The mix-in will be open shortly.
Thanks, guys.